Hello YouTube! Time for another wrestling orientated video. Wow, 3 in a row, eh? That's quite a feat for this day and age when it comes to my channel. But hey, I'm in a wrestling mood. Okay, I'm going to talk about SummerSlam, the biggest event of the summer, the blockbuster of the summer, the summer events. Yeah. I heard recently that WWE wants SummerSlam to be an event that's like the Wrestlemania of the summer. I don't understand why that news was leaked, or whether it's just like some shitty dirt sheet stuff that was just written for the sake of it. Because I always thought like this was meant to be the case. You know, back when there was only 4 pay-per-views, I thought SummerSlam was meant to be like the summer's Wrestlemania. It was the 3rd pay-per-view devised, I believe, by WWE. I think the second one was Survivor Series, funnily enough, after WrestleMania, of course. The first SummerSlam was in 1988, and I have good memories of that. It was funny. It had a good opener with the British Bulldogs against the Rougeos. Obviously, Ultimate Warrior squashed the Honky Tonk Man and ended his longest reign in the history of the IC title. And there was Heart Foundation and Demolition. That was a great match. And of course the tag team main event with Macho Man and Hogan against Andre and DiBiase. And the comic-y bit of how that match ended was funny, with Elizabeth, you know, taking off her skirt to reveal some kind of swimsuit thing. That was raunchy back in the day. That was funny stuff, and it distracted the heels. It was just so comical, but brilliant nonetheless. It was good fun memories. Yeah, I think in this day and age, as in this decade, the SummerSlams to me haven't been that impressive, barring one of them. I'll talk about that one in a bit. But I haven't had this feel of SummerSlam being the event for ages, and perhaps that's where that bit of news comes from. You know, perhaps they want to try and build it up. I don't see how they're going to do it in this day and age, because even when it's WrestleMania, they only like build it up kind of like a few weeks beforehand, barring what happened at the Royal Rumble. And I just don't see how it's going to happen for this year's SummerSlam. I mean, what's the main event going to be? Fucking Orton versus Cena or something? That happened 2 years ago, and that was a good match when it happened 2 years ago. But overall, SummerSlam didn't feel that special to me. Last year's Edge and Taker in the Hell in a Cell, that was a good match. But the rest of the cards, I can barely remember, you know. So now I'm going to talk a bit and show you some of my most memorable and favourite SummerSlam events. Here's one here. SummerSlam 1996. Not exactly a classic card, would you say, but it gives me a sense of nostalgia, basically, for the Boiler Room Brawl between Mankind and Undertaker. They were having a hell of a feud in that year. And to have Paul Bearer turn on The Undertaker and basically side with Mick Foley was shocking. I couldn't fucking believe it. It was mental. And the match between Shawn Michaels and Vader was pretty good, but at the same time it probably should have been better. You always hear stories from Vader these days, how he's pissed off at Shawn when like he was taking a beating, but yet he was still chewing gum and stuff. That's funny stuff. But yeah. Also, there's this one. This is right on the brunt of the Attitude Era. SummerSlam 98 has the ladder match between The Rock and Triple H. I enjoyed that one a lot. I thought the European Championship match between D'Lo Brown and Val Venus was good. And this was the pay-per-view debut of Edge as well, which also makes it awesome. He was the tag team partner of Sable. And the Lion's Den match was pretty cool. It was quite a stacked card, pretty good I thought. Taker versus Austin, and I like that pay-per-view poster there, that's pretty cool, Austin and Taker. quite the epic match also. Yeah. And if ever there was a pay-per-view that was made by where it was, if you know what I mean, as in the arena gave it a kick, gave it that atmosphere, it's definitely this one. SummerSlam 1992 in Wembley Stadium. Fond memories of this as a youth. That's some good stuff. Obviously, everyone remembers it for Bret against British Bulldog, and that is a classic match. Just awesome. And the Macho Man and Warrior match was pretty good too, but it wasn't as good as their WrestleMania classic. Had some funny stuff like Undertaker against Kamala. Kamala's facial expressions, oh my god, they were funny. And Rick Martel against Shawn Michaels, that heel versus heel match in that day and age was quite something, and I quite enjoyed that one as well. Yeah, and I'm gonna grab this one, SummerSlam 1997. The title match against Bret and Taker was excellent, and the way Shawn was in it and like basically cost Taker the belt, that was good stuff. You know, good storyline. 1997 is one of my favourite years for WWF, definitely. And Austin against Owen Hart, great match. A shame about the ending. It was really harsh seeing Austin get injured to that extent. And yeah, good opener between Mankind and Triple H and Steel Cage, and a surprisingly good match between the Road Warriors and the Godwins. Real good, actually. Yeah, that was a good SummerSlam. But yeah, and now on to my two favourite SummerSlams ever. One surprisingly from this decade, and one from last decade, of course. I'm going to go in chronological order. SummerSlam 1991. Probably has one really stellar classic match on it. That, of course, being Bret Hart and Mr. Perfect. That is a fucking classic match that everyone has to watch. Brilliant stuff. The rest of the card's pretty tame as far as the wrestling goes, but entertainment wise, this is fucking awesome. Macho Man's wedding, when it gets interrupted by Jake the Snake and Undertaker, it was bloody hilarious. It was just so corny, over the top acting. And the Mountie versus Big Boss Man in the jailhouse match, where Mountie has to go to jail. Oh, his performance in that is just priceless, I tell you. And even some of the stuff with like $1 Million Man and Virgil was very entertaining too. For all the wrong reasons. This is the kind of wrestling pay-per-view I put on for my friends that don't really like wrestling but just want something to like kind of have a laugh at. It's brilliant for that, and I think it's a classic, and I watch it a lot. It's great stuff. And my favourite of this decade, and probably one of the best pay-per-views in ages, was SummerSlam 2002. What can you say about this that hasn't already been said? Just a fucking stacked card. Just look at it, you know. Has Shawn Michaels' comeback match, Benoit and RVD, Ray and Angle, Brock versus Rock. Just stacked. Awesome. And that was like the last SummerSlam that I thought lived up to the WrestleMania of the Summer title, I think. And there's various ones in the 90s and like late 80s that may have lived up to that too. But yeah, I think they've basically got a lot of work to do, and they should just cut out a pay-per-view, or like move a pay-per-view forward so there could be like some build-up for a SummerSlam if they're wanting to do that and make it feel special again. That is just my opinion. I think they could do it, but they're just going to have to rearrange some things. Let me know what you think, what your favourite SummerSlam moments are. I'd like to see it. And also any tips on how they can make SummerSlam a big special event again. Or if you already think it is, just let me know. I want to know. Take it easy, guys.